Hello all and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing fine. We are learning a AutoGen series, which is a multi-agent framework built by Microsoft. If you have missed previous videos, then I'm not sure where you guys were busy, but I would highly recommend go ahead and watch out those series. The link is already available in the description. In today's video, we are going to cover a conversation pattern. Now, till this point, we have seen a basic structure where we have built a basic agents, but now onwards, we are going to build a agents. We are going to understand the basics behind the agent. And basically, we are going one more step deeper into the agents or agentic framework. So let's do a quick recap, whatever we have learned till this particular point. So we have started with two agent framework. And in this two agent framework, we have learned how we can build a agentic framework with the help of initiate chat method. Also, we have studied a conversable agent, and with the help of these initiate chat and conversable agent, we have built a simple agentic framework. Now it's time to deep dive into the conversable agents and understand what is the thing that is happening behind the scene whenever we are calling the agents. So we will be understanding a chat patterns, we'll be understanding the results that it is generating, how the messages are transferred between the two agents, and what are the different details that AutoGen has capability to capture whenever the conversation ends. Also, we will learn different chat conversation patterns. So there are different chat conversation patterns like we have two agent pattern. Then we have sequential agent, and also we have group agent. So these are the three patterns that we are going to study. In this particular video, we are going to focus on a two agent pattern. I know we have already seen two agent pattern, but there are few more things that we have missed, and I would like to cover those things first. And once the basic is clear, then we can jump to the sequential and group chat agent. So let's understand how exactly the two chat agent conversation work. So the two chat agent is a very simple framework that we have built, and we have seen a couple of examples, like we have seen the examples of in two agent chat, we have seen several examples like number guesser agent, then user proxy and assistant agent. Also, we have seen code executor and writer agent. These are the several basic examples that we have seen in the previous videos. And also we have seen how the two agents can communicate with each other. Let's say agent A and agent B. It's a very simple communication where agent 1 is the receiver agent and another is the sender agent. And they share the responses with each other in order to accomplish a task. Now let's see how exactly the two agent chat works. So let's understand this with the help of simple example. So what we have is, let's say this particular framework, we can call it as a two agent framework. You can see we have agent 1 and agent 2. Now let's take an example where we are passing a message as what is the triangle inequality. This is the message that we are passing. Now let's assume that we have two agents. The first one is the teacher agent, agent B, and agent A is the student agent. Now, whenever we are passing message, we have an initializer step. This is nothing but the initiate chat. This is the initiate chat method that we were using. Then now this is the new thing, context. Now what exactly the context? So along with the input message, we are passing context to the initializer. And this context is nothing but the structured way where we are defining several guided settings for a initializer in order to generate the initial message in proper way. Now for these agents, we are not directly passing this particular message. Now we are adding some guided rules, and these guided rules are nothing but, let's say, we are requesting a agent to generate the summary. So we are requesting the agents to generate the summary, as well as this helps in managing the initial message in better way. And not only that, the context also helps the agents to understand how to respond during the conversation. So that's the use of context. So basically we are passing guided rules along with the input message so that agents can do a efficient communication. Then we have a initial message. So after this initializer, we have generated the initial message, and that message we are passing to the agent A and agent B. Now in our case, agent A is our sender who is going to send the message, and agent teacher is our receiver. These are the two agents. So sender will send a questions to the teacher, and teacher will analyze the questions and give the response back to the sender. And there will be a back and forth communication will happen between these two, and that will generate a history of conversation. And that history of conversation then will pass to the summarizer. Now what's the role of summarizer? So summarizer will help us generate the summary. And it will not only generate the summary, the summarizer will take input as a chat. It will read the chat history. It will understand the logic and then summarize the results. So whatever conversation will happen between these two agents, it will pass that history to the summarizer. Summarizer will analyze that history and generate the logical result. And then it will generate the chat result. So in this chat results, it's not only the results obtained from this conversation, there are more to it. So it is having the final result. Also, it has a capability which calculates the token usage plus token cost. Also, it captures the history of conversation, and also it has the human input if it is given. So all those details are available in the chat results. We are showcasing only the final results to the user, but along with that, a developer can analyze these particular details from the chat history or chat results. So I hope this basic concept is clear now, how exactly the conversation works between the agents. Now, what we will be doing is we will be building a teacher and student agent, and we will see all these details, how we can pass the message to the initializer and how we can generate the context. One thing I forgot is this particular method. In the context, we can define these different methods where, let's say, summary method, we are passing reflection with LLM, meaning this summary will be generated by LLM, and we'll see. So there will be multiple times where we will hit to the LLM. First time we will hit whenever we are generating the, whenever the conversation is happening between the agent. Then at the time of generating the summary, we are hitting the LLM agent. So that's how there will be multiple calls to the LLM, and then we will generate the final results. So let's understand this in the practical session. So let's jump straight to the VS Code where we will be seeing these particular things in detail. Okay, so we have opened our project code. So let's create a new folder. We can call it as conversation pattern. And under conversation pattern, we can create a again IPYNB file. We can give name as to agent pattern. Okay, so we have created the file. Now, just like previous videos, what we will be going here is we will be importing the LLM configuration that we have defined. And this is the LLM configuration that we have created. If you have missed the last videos, I would highly recommend go ahead and check how we have created the LLM config. It's covered in the first video of this particular series. And we are using Azure OpenAI service in order to call the LLM application, in order to call the LLM model. We have used GPT-4 model, which is the Azure OpenAI deployment. And these are the configurations that we needed in order to load the model. So in order to load that particular environment configuration into this particular notebook, we can use this particular code where we are again importing. Now temp file is not required, so let's remove that. We'll be using conversable agent, and in order to load the configuration file, we are setting the path to directory pack because the LLM configuration is available at root folder and we are under conversation agent. And then from there we are importing the LLM configuration. So let me execute that. Let me select the Python kernel. So this is our virtual environment. So let's select that. Now what we can do is we can define a agent. So as we mentioned, we will be writing two agents, student agent and teacher agent. So let's write the student agent. So for student agent, we can call a conversable agent class. And inside that, again, we need to define name. That's the first thing that we always do. Then second step, we can define a system message. And a simple system message we can give as, you are a student willing to learn. And after that, we can pass a LLM config. Right. So we have built our first agent, that is student agent. Similarly, let's build the teacher agent. Teacher agent, and then message we can pass, you are a math teacher. And then LLM configuration. Those details will remain same. Also, let's build a chat results. That's what we are going to generate. So as per this diagram we have seen, now we have built this particular agent, chat agent, like student agent, teacher agent, and now we are storing the chat results. So let's write that code. Chat result, and we are going to start the chat with sender agent, and in our case sender agent is the student agent. So student agent dot, again we are using the initiate chat method, and in initiate chat method, now what we need to define, we are calling a receiver agent, and in our case receiver agent is the teacher agent. So let's call it teacher agent, and we can write a custom message where we can pass our user query. So user query, what we saw is what is the triangle inequality. And here we can pass a summary method now. The summary method that we discussed, and as we mentioned last time, we will be passing reflection with LLM as a summary method. So this is required for a chat results to generate the summary. That's what we have seen. So this particular part, summarizer, we have passed this reflection with LLM in the initiate chat method. So if you can see in initiate chat method, we have passed this particular context, and as the context is defined, we will be generating the chat results. So this is done. So let's execute this particular code. And now you can see it has started the execution, where it is started the generating responses. Now first we have seen that we are calling a student agent to teacher agent, and we are asking this question, what is the triangular inequality? And then this teacher agent has started generating the results. It has started explaining. So basically what exactly triangle inequality theorem is, your two sides of a triangle should be, addition of two sides should be greater than the third side. So a plus b should be greater than c, you can see, or a plus c should be greater than b, and b plus c should be greater than a. If the three conditions are matching, that is the triangle inequality theorem. So let's expand and let's see what exactly it is doing. So you can see it has done the conversation, and then it has generated the summary as well. We'll see what summary it has generated, but let's wait for the agent to end the conversation. So it is saying thank you, and so student is understood it exactly. It might have asked for several examples, something like that. Let's see. Okay, so it is going into the loop because we have not added any termination message. That's, you can see, you can again saying thank you, thank you, thank you. So let me interrupt this and let's add a termination message. So default method is terminate, but you can see right in the prompt we have not given anything. So we will have to add that in the student agent. We can add once you get the result. Please respond, terminate. And as we know that the terminate method is default added, like is termination flag, that particular method is already, or that particular parameter is already set by default. So for this teacher agent, that's the default parameter. So if you are not adding that, it will still take. But let's define that as well. So is termination message, and we can call the lambda function. So let's copy that particular code. So from content, we are picking the message, and if terminate word is present, then we are terminating it, right? Let's execute this again. Okay, now you can see it has generated the result, and then student has written as terminated. So, and it is asking for manual intervention. So let's add that. So it should terminate the chat. Okay, you can see it has terminated the chat. If you don't want to add human input, then you can set human input message to none. So that also you can add here. Okay, so it was asking for manual termination. So what we can do is we can add termination input mode as neighbor. So for teacher agent, let's add this particular mode in order to terminate the conversation automatically. Now let's execute this again. Okay, there is some error. Okay, we missed the comma here. Now you can see the conversation has started. What is triangle inequality? It has given the response, and then you can see it is using auto reply to terminate, and the chat is terminated now because teacher agent made the condition. Now this is the basic thing that we have seen earlier as well. Now let's understand how it is generating. In order to see the summary, but we can see that we can add a complexity where we can ask him to explain with example. So you are a student willing to learn. You also need a sample example to understand the concept. And then we have added this particular step. Once you get the result, please terminate. Let's see what exactly it is generating. Now there will be a to and fro communication between the two agents, and this teacher agent will also basically provide the example. So you can see now it is saying that could you provide me with an example. So let me expand the conversation, and you can see now once the teacher agent has given the sample, once the teacher agent has taught the concept, then student is asking could you please provide me an example. Then teacher has given simple example. You can see this is the triangle with these three sides 5, 6 and 10, and you can see 5 plus 6 11, which is greater than 10. This is again greater than 10. This condition is meeting, and this condition is also meeting, and that's where all the conditions are satisfied, and that's where triangle sides 5, 6, 10 does indeed satisfy the triangle inequality theorem. So that's how it has ended the conversation. Now let's see how exactly the chat summary is generated. So for checking that, what we can do is we can write print. Now this is our chat results dot, we can print summary. Okay, you can see the summary now, the triangle inequality theorem. So what it has done, it has collected the conversation, and based on that it has generated the summary of result. So if student wants to go through the summary, they can directly check the summary instead of checking the whole conversation. Also, let's print the chat history. What are the conversation? So for that, in order to print it in better format, we can use a pprint module from Python. So let's import that pprint. So pprint is nothing but the module in Python which helps printing the dictionary related or dictionary type of outputs in better way. So in better format. So what we can do is preprint.pprint, and then we can print a chat results dot chat history. Now you can see that it has printed the dictionary in proper format. So content is there. What is the content generated by another agent? So it has given all these details in proper format. So this is the conversation history. Now what we can do is we can also I mentioned that in this particular Here I have mentioned that the chat result also stores the token and the token cost and history of the human input. So let's see how exactly the token cost is available. So to print the token cost, again we can use pprint.pprint chat results.cost. Okay, you can see the cost information. For executing the cache inferences, we have used GPT-4 Turbo model, and for completion task, it took 406 token. The cost was $0.023. The prompt token was this much. Total tokens is 1508. So the total cost is $0.02. And again, this is the usage excluding cache inference, and this is usage including the cache inference. So whatever was the cache available, so it is including that. So the total cost is $0.232. We were not having much cache because this is the first time we have executed, so there was not much chat history. So it is giving the total cost information as well, and this cost will be visible on the Azure OpenAI portal if you want to check that. So I hope you understood how exactly the conversation happens between, or what are the backend process that is happening between the agent. And now you understood that what is the capability of AutoGen. It's not restricting only to the chat conversation, but it also captures much more than that. And we will continue learning that. So in the next session, we will see how the sequential agent chat works. And again, we'll see what are the backend processes that are happening. So I hope you really like this particular video. So I would recommend go ahead and watch the previous video if you have missed. That way you will be able to build the chain of thoughts for the two agent chat conversation and whatever sessions that we are going to cover in further videos. If you really want to understand how exactly the cost can be monitored on Azure OpenAI services, how we can deploy the model on Azure OpenAI or using Azure OpenAI Foundry. So I have covered a end-to-end course on Udemy. The link is available in the description, where you will be able to understand how you can build a generative AI applications in faster way with the help of Azure OpenAI Foundry. So I have covered a end-to-end project there. So if you're really interested, go ahead and check out. The link is already available in the description. So I hope you like this particular video, and happy learning for you guys, and see you soon in the next video. Thank you so much.